guys, today I'm playing a game called Vicarwissen, and the description reads, Maggie and Cellar are the legend hunters, a team of amateur paranormal investigators with a popular vlog channel. They traveled all the way from the town of Brunwald in a small country of Slovenia in the hopes of finding the legendary Vicarwissen, a monster said to be made from the flesh of its prey. According to their guide, the creature is hiding somewhere in Lundgren Mansion Museum in Brunwald. It is said that if you visit the museum at midnight during Slovenia's annual banquet celebration, you're certain to catch a glimpse of it. What could possibly go wrong? So let's start. Happy Friday, lovely people. She's Maggie, and she's Stella, and we're the legend hunters. We investigate so you don't have to. Well guys, it's that time of year again. The air is chill, the pumpkin is spiced, and we're getting up for our evening abroad. For those of you who are new to our channel, we spend most of the time in the New England area. Evening abroad is something we do once a year around Halloween. It's basically just what it sounds like. Maggie and I spend the night in some notoriously paranormal-y spot outside of the US. Last year we had an absolute blast looking for the Nessie in the Scottish Highlands. Check out the link in the below. This year we figured that we'd make things a little more interesting and asked you guys to send some suggestions as to where we ought to go. Back in June we picked one, but we kept it a secret. But since you're the best fans ever, you contributed to our Kickstarter anyway. So now it's time for the big reveal. That decided we're looking for a creature so terrifyingly spooky that no other paranormal investigators have ever dared challenge it. I mean, it's more because nobody else has ever heard of it, but sure. Just keeping it real. Yeah, okay, maybe, but it's still awesome. Observe. Right here is the Vicarwissen. He comes from the little country of Slovenia, and he's basically their take on the werewolf. The story is that once upon a time, there was a banquet for all of the Earth's animals. One time, a human snuck in wearing a cloak made out of bones and fur and stuff. When the host noticed, she stuck it to him, literally. He was cursed to grow a new skin every night and live as a monster till it falls off in the morning. Tough break. Then it gets really good. He's kind of a Swiss Army beastie. Everything he's eaten becomes part of him, so he might have bear teeth, and rabbit feet, and broccoli hands. Well, that was his fault. You guys see what I have to deal with? You love me. Yeah, but no. From what I can tell, it's just meat. And get this, those fur that he's shitting every morning are alive. They seem normal during the day, but when the sun sets, they turn into Vicarwissen zombie minions. Which brings us to the destination. Like Stella said, the Vicarwissen comes from Slovenia. We're headed to the town of Brunwald to visit the Lundgren Mansion Museum. The original owner, Evelina Lundgren, used to be a really famous hunter back in the day. Sometime after she died in a hunting accident, with quotations around them, because that's not suspicious, a whole bunch of freaky hybrid pelts were discovered on her property. You can probably guess where this is going. According to local legend, Lundgren didn't die at all. She was bitten by the Vicarwissen on a hunting trip, and when she started to change, her wife locked her in the attic. She spent the rest of her life trying to cure her, and when she died, Evelina got loose. Some say she's still roaming the property today, but is she? We're gonna find out. Remember that animal banquet I told you about? Well, it's a holiday in Slovenia. It's said, and I quote, that a terrible fate will befall anyone who wanders into the den of the Vicarwissen on banquet night. Challenge accepted. In this case, the den is probably the mansion. We're gonna have to buy some tickets, check out the pelts, and sleep over in the attic. Which is super not allowed, but we have our ways. Thank God nobody in Brunwald uses the internet. So there, we'll give you more updates once we finish packing. We should really get on that. Yeah. See you guys soon. And don't forget to subscribe. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Hopefully they don't die. Wait, it's a possibility they could die. Welcome to Benoit population. Really not a lot. Yeah, you should have seen us on the trip. Maggie was praying up a storm. Tiny planes make me religious. I get that. In about an hour, we're going to meet with our contact. She asked us not to reveal her name, but we could tell you a little bit about her. For one, she works at the Lundgren Mansion Museum. She's the one that's going to get us into the attic on the banquet night. She's also the one that messaged us about the Vicarwissen back in June, so basically if you don't like this year's evening abroad, blame her. We're kidding, obviously. She's great. And so is Sylvania. Everyone's been really accommodating. I imagine there don't yet many visitors. That said, there's been some fishy stuff too. Oh, definitely. You'll notice we haven't included any pre-investigation interviews. Usually we try to, but the people here do not want to talk about the Lundgren. Oh, yeah. Well, they do, but they don't want to talk about the myth, just the lady. Now, we've been doing this a long time. We're used to people thinking we're nuts. When you show up in a Point Pleasant asking about the Mothman, people roll their eyes, but they'll talk to you. This feels different. We can tell if they're offended or superstitious or what. They just clam up. Well, yeah, maybe they just can't. It's taboo to talk about. As weird as that is, it could actually end up being really good for us. It's clear that the people up in Wall at least know what we're talking about. They just haven't had a whole lot of tourists coming here around and asking these questions before. The reaction made me think there might be some truth to the rumors that we've heard of. If so, then we stand a very good chance of actually seeing the Vicarwissen on Thursday. I feel like now is a good time to remind everybody how important it is to approach this kind of thing skeptically. The second you start expecting that you're going to end up face to face with Bigfoot, use your credibility where debunkers first. Yeah, but you also can't be so skeptical that you're not going to have any fun. Basically, you want to be open-minded but grounded. Nothing sucks more than thinking you stumbled onto something really cool and finding out later that you overreacted. Anyway, we better get going. Can't keep our contact waiting. There's almost no outlets or Wi-Fi or anything here, so this is probably going to be the last time we check in before the big night. Sit tight, guys. We'll see you at the banquet. Is this all live? Okay, so we have some good news and some bad news. Earlier today, we took a tour of the museum, and it was awesome. But afterwards, we tried some traditional Slovenian mushroom soup, and Maggie had food poisoning. But it's okay, we're gonna stay over. We're just not going to do it tonight. It's a bummer, but we really wanted to make the banquet, but this stuff happens. We'll be in touch sometime later this week with a new date. In the meantime, I've got to go help Maggie out. Thanks for bearing with us. You really are the best friends ever. Ugh, what's that sound? Stella, you gonna get that? Stella? Wait, that's my ringtone. Where's Stella? Crap. The world's spinning again as I get out of bed, but it's not as bad as it was before. That nap must have helped. It's kind of late now, though Stella said she was going to bed early, but she's not here. Her number pops up when I turn my phone over. Guess I'm about to find out why. Don't be mad. What? Where are you? I'm at the museum. You went without me? I'm sorry, hun. I wanted to tell you, but you were asleep, and Lana just showed up. She was really mad that we canceled, said this was all a waste if we didn't go to the banquet on banquet night. I figured I could just go get some pictures and be back before you even woke up, but then... But what? Are you okay? I lost her. She got spooked by something and started babbling. Nothing she was saying made any sense. She handed me this big freaking dagger and then she just ran off. A dagger? Why was she... I don't know. I thought she might have gone up to the attic, so I ran up there too. But before I could find her, I heard something like growling, I guess? Like a dog. It freaked me out. I bolted. I didn't know what to... Okay, first off, calm down. Where are you now? Hard to say. Somewhere below the attic. It's a really big room. There's stuff everywhere. I'm locked in. How did you manage that? I told you I freaked. I should have gone back the way I came, but I didn't. I'm not going back up there. Didn't you bring the pry bar? Yeah, but these doors are super old and the locks aren't. It's not doing anything. Will you come get me? Ugh, we have to go by ourselves. Yeah, alright, give me a sec. You're the best, Mags. I know. How am I supposed to get you out? Lana said something about a master key. It's in her desk. Okay, in what room? She didn't say. Awesome. Just hurry. Please, be careful. I still remember the first time this happened. We were just kids messing around in Roanoke, and she wandered off. It scared the life out of me. Stella's always been really incredible at getting herself into trouble. Leave her alone for 5 minutes, and she'll find a haunted graveyard. It's pretty cool, though. I do a lot of belly aching, but at the end of the day, seeing her get all excited about stuff is why I keep doing this. Contrary to popular belief, I'm really not that superstitious. Even though I might get caught up in the moment sometimes, I don't actually believe in this stuff. Sometimes I wish I did, but then there wouldn't be anybody around to lodge things out when we get into trouble. Better get my bearings here before I head out. Okay, tip, hover over various parts of the scene to locate stuff. Okay, this is a museum. Letter. Dear Legend Hunters, during your last live streaming event, you requested suggestions as to the location of your Halloween sleepover. This is the first letter we got from Lona. Her handwriting is amazing. Who even writes letters anymore? I will guess. Good luck charm. Stella picks this up in town. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but the locals said it's good luck. Alrighty. Click every last thing here. And I think that's done. Better get moving. The museum is even creepier at night. I guess that's not surprising given that we're here, but even Roanoke didn't give me this bad. Monster or no monster, I don't want us to stay a second longer than we have to. Stella said that she and Lana left the door open here. Here goes nothing. I'm here now. Stay calm, okay? It was probably like a mouse or something. It wasn't a mouse, Maggie. Right, it wasn't a mouse in Cornwall either. That's not fair. I'm just messing with you. Hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Yeah, fine. I think I better text you. Huh? Why? It's moving. I think you can hear me. Oh, God. Jesus, Stella, you just can't just... There's scratch marks on the desk right there. Or maybe that's just decoration, who knows. Whatever, I'll just call her back. As I'm dialing, I glance at the time. How is it midnight already? Did it just kind of get cold in here? I don't know, but something's changed. This is all happening pretty quick. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention to when I first walked in, but now that I'm looking around, I can see something on the front desk. There are scratches, long, thin ones. They look pretty fresh. What's the twist? Everyone in town is Vicarwissen? Alright. A lot of times your stomach knows you're in trouble way before your brain does, that's for sure. You get that dread, like a second heartbeat, that makes every hair on the back of your neck stand up. I'm trying really hard not to notice it now, because I need to focus, but I'm not gonna lie, this is scary. Suddenly, my phone screen lights up. What was that? I don't know. Are you sure you're okay? Just for safety's sake, I turn around and check the front door. I just used it, so it should be open, but of course it isn't. For some reason, there are two sets of blocks, one on the outside and one on the inside. I guess they could have been on some kind of timer, but why did they kick in at midnight? That's bad. There's a couple of minutes of at least an eerie silence. And then my phone lights up again. Mags? It's the banquet. It's starting. Right, the banquet. I almost forgot about that. I mean, I didn't really expect it to be anything big. These kinds of things almost never are, but there's a real chance that there's some truth to the stories we've heard. Maybe there's something in the waters that's making me see things, or maybe I'm just sicker than I thought, but honestly, it's probably just Luna. Cellar said she started acting weird. It certainly wouldn't be the first time that somebody tried to scare us for some publicity. If that's the case, then you better hope that I don't find her before I find Stella. Just hope she's not dead. Skepticism first, remember? Suddenly a photo pops up in the chat. That's lighting. It's glowing. Whoa. It is glowing. The longer I stare at it, the weirder it gets. I have no idea what it means, but it probably isn't good. Don't touch it! One thing's for sure, I have to find that master key and fast. It sure helped if I at least knew where I was going. We took a tour before, but this place is like a maze. There has to be a visitor's guide or something. Front door. It's locked. Oh, nice. I think it was 2016. Join us this Thursday afternoon for soup and festivities. This is the guest book Stella and I wrote our names in the first time we visited. They're still right there on the top of the page. She always draws a little kangaroo next to hers. At least that's what she tells me it is. It looks like a kangaroo. The Lungaran Mansion Museum stands as a glowing testament to his namesake, the great Evelina Lungaran. Born in the small town of Kolkata in 1842, Lungaran made her fortune in the fur trade. She settled in Brunwal as a young lady and quickly won over the locals with her sharp wit and giving nature. It goes on for 2 more pages. Did they seriously not put maps in these? I gotta say though, it really is nice how really progressive this place is. That's part of the reason we wanted to come. There's just not enough lesbian werewolf museums around, you know? Oh yeah, that's true. It's a shop, gift shop, to the trophy room. Let's go to the shop. Heck. What was that? I'm sure I heard something just now. Luna? Come on, Luna, this isn't funny. I look around, but I'm still the only one here. One of the displays looks like it's been knocked over, though. That must be what I heard. I remember this one. Stan and I were looking at it yesterday. Luna said it was a fox pelt. Oh, are they coming alive? I'm not an expert on foxes or anything, but I always thought they were way smaller than that. The display was all the way in the corner, but somehow the pelt ended up farther up along the wall. That's weird. They go in for a closer look. All of a sudden it jumps. Its little glass eyes are wet and bright. They're bulging clean out of that flat, misshapen thing that used to be its head. It hisses and spits, and then it's gone so fast I can hardly even believe it happened. That wasn't an animal. It was literally just skin, but it was alive. It looked right at me. I'm cold now, but I'm sweating. My heart's beating so quick that I'm afraid it might stop. We've been doing this for ages. We've seen every crappy special effect there is. I can spot a fake a mile away. There wasn't anything fake about that, though. For once, I'm sure that was the real deal. A genuine paranormal event. So in that case, you might actually be in some trouble. Seriously, it figures that when something finally turns out to be real, it's the awful werewolf-y corpse beast and not like the jackalope. Jackalope. I didn't want to call the police before because we'd absolutely get arrested for trespassing. If it's going to jail for a night or 2 or getting eaten, I choose jail. I was so freaked out I typed 911 on my phone 3 times before I remembered that we weren't in America. Luckily, I'm pretty sure I stuck the actual emergency number into my bag before I left the hotel. With shaking hands, I reach for it, type it in, and nothing. Static. It's the same second time, the third, maybe it's just my phone. Stella's locked up wherever she is, so the last thing I want to do is scare her, but I have to try something else. Hey Stella, is your phone working? Well, yeah. I'm texting you. Can you hear me? Can you call me real quick? I told you I don't want to make noise. I'm not going to talk. I just want to see something. Well, that worked. I hear something shift behind me when my phone starts ringing, but by the time I turn around, whatever it is already gone. Maybe she was right about not making noise. Okay, now call your mom. Why? I'll tell you in a sec. Static. The call keeps failing. I was afraid of that. I think the house is blocking the signal. Creepy? We should be recording. Did you bring the stuff? Forgot it. Boo. How's the dagger thing? I put it on the clock. I told you not to touch it. We are investigators. Yeah, well, I feel like this town doesn't have an exorcist. Exorcism doesn't look that hard. You should Google it. Did you find the master key yet? Just got here, still looking. By the way, just in case, what happens if you get bit by a Vicarwissen pelt thing? You turn into a Vicarwissen obs. Obs? Did you see something? I was really hoping that she wouldn't ask me like that. I don't want to lie, but you did, didn't you? Don't know yet. Maybe. Are you still hearing stuff? Sometimes. I locked the attic door, though. Whatever is up there can't come down. Good. On my way. Or I will be once I calm down. Pretty sure this is a gift shop. It's such a small museum, but it's kind of weird to me that they even have one, but then there's nowhere near the weirdest thing about this place. It's really weird. It's creepy. Grand conspiracy. Maybe we should start keeping track of this stuff. I'll just take a quick picture and send it to Stella. There. To me, the mere idea that a hunter as accomplished as Mrs. Lundgren could be so careless as to let herself be mauled to death is completely preposterous. Consider the oddity of that, alongside Catherine Lundgren's baffling decision to have her wife burned against the wishes of her family, and you begin to see my point. Wasn't this in the early 1800s? The whole thing reeks of fraudulence. And yet, if the rumors are true, and Mrs. Lundgren did indeed survive the attack that is why I believe to have killed her, why was no one told? You would think that such an auspicious event would be cause for celebration. No. It's the hallway. Oh my god, it's really creepy. There's not just anything else. Should we go back to the lobby? And then go to the exhibit room? Oh god, something creepy's gonna happen here. This is made out of fur. There were display cases everywhere. I think this was Lundgren's children's room. I don't know if they actually gave out trophies for hunting. Apparently they do. There's other stuff too, pelts, mostly, and some taxidermy. Given what I've been seeing, I have to wonder how much of it is still alive. Something definitely pawing at its display case near where I'm standing. Pawing? That one in the middle? The red? Part of me is curious, the other part knows that I'll regret looking. Sign. Please do not touch the displays. Alrighty. This is the hallway. Let's just go here. Shop. Hallway. Oh my god, this is creepy. It's a cellar. Now this room I remember, it's the wine cellar. Lundgren had a pretty nice collection. It's a shame that it's all just sitting here to collect dust. Bordeaux? Bordeaux? That's just too good to pass up. So that good? Vintage champagne? I think I deserve a taste. Aged carbonet. I'll just have a sip. What could hurt? What could it hurt? Ugh, maybe I overdid it a little. Alright, this is a vent. And now a traveler, Mrs. Lundgren made a point of purchasing a bottle or two in every city that she stopped in. Yeah. Sounds pretty nice. Alrighty. Now we're going to this creepy hallway. Oh wait, to the tannery. Ugh, it reeks in here. There's a foul, coppery smell, like a garbage chute at a slaughterhouse. The farther I get into the room, the worse it gets. I pull my shirt over my nose and mouth to try and block it out, but it's persistent. Where is it even coming from? What was that? Lolo said that this room wasn't on the original floor plan. It was added on later when the community decided to make this room into a museum. Now it's supposed to be a tannery. During the day, they run workshops and stuff, but from what I can tell, they lock up all the knives and salts up at night. That's a shame. I would really love to get my hands on a knife right about now. Okay, that's definitely getting louder. I don't know where it's coming from. It sounds like it's coming from everywhere. If I'm going to look around, I better make it quick. Alrighty. Strange pelt. This must be one of those weird pelts that the article talked about. Looks like a cat mixed with a rabbit, maybe? Hard to say. It's stuck to the wall pretty firmly. It probably wouldn't hurt to just get a little bit closer. Oh my gosh, should we examine it? I feel like it's gonna come alive and jump at us. Should we examine it? Let's just see the possibilities. Let's just save this and return and just say yes. I suddenly lurches forward with enough strength to shake the entire display. I jump back, and for a second I think that I might have done so fast to avoid those teeth, but a sharp stinging sensation near the top of my hand tells me otherwise. I look. It's just a scratch, really. Barely even broke the skin. So it isn't a bite, right? It can't be enough to count. I'm sweating. It's the kind of sweat, cold sweat, that only used to happen to me when I had nightmares as a kid. Cellar said the Vicarwissen is like a werewolf. If you get bitten by one, or by one of its pelts, you turn into one. It's possible it isn't true. Even if some of this stuff is turning out to be real, it doesn't mean that all of it is. Legends change, especially if they get mixed up with other legends, things get distorted. There's no time to stop and think about it now. If I do it. If I do, it'll get to me, and then we'll be finished. Cellar will know what to do. When I find her, I'll show her, and she'll be able to fix this. For now, I'll move on. Yeah, no, I'm gonna change that. I don't like that, yes. Because I'm gonna get abandoning. We're gonna turn to a werewolf, basically. Just say, never mind. On second thought, I don't think I will. There's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. Seems like that is it. Pelts. Hunter's right. It is a customary to honor any creature that you kill by offering thanks for its sacrifice. If you do not, you risk abrogating the spirit, which will follow you on further future hunts. In more extreme cases, they will come to live with you in your house, where they will feed on you until you have paid them their proper respects. Well, I think that's pretty fair. Strange pelts on Lundgren Mansion. Paranormal Ledger, 1937. A preliminary inspection of the Lundgren Mansion Museum has turned up several oddities. The first one of these is a collection of exotic pelts that had been stored quite haphazardly in the couple's attic. Their odd characteristics and massive size have an on-site experts baffled. Okay, did they take any samples? They just left it at that. Guessing that they did. Let's investigate. This won't come alive, right? Why would you make them come on this night? To be sacrifices? I have to find... Let's do it right here. Go here. Right, so we have to find a key. Oh, a lounge. Here's a lounge. There's newspapers all over the place. I feel for whoever originally organized these. I whipped around. One of those skin monsters is wiggling around in a snare just a few feet away from me. During our first visit, there was all kinds of traps on display in this room, but Loma went out of her way to assure us that they were too old or broken down to be dangerous. I guess his banquet thing must have restored them and set them. It's kind of unsettling, but they're doing their job, so I guess it kind of works in my favor. Something's poking out of the case in the back of the room. I have to see what it is. After a quick look around, I start forward and I'll get back. It takes me half a second to realize that I stepped on something that I probably shouldn't have stepped on. Any longer, I would have ended up with a couple of hundreds of pounds of steel clamped around my ankle. Oh God. By some miracle, I managed to get out of the way before it closes. Christ almighty. Remember what I said about the traps working in my favor? I take it back. Alrighty. The Bleeding Forest. As its name suggests, the Bleeding Forest is notorious for the many lives that it has claimed. This year alone has seen more than 17 travelers vanish into its depths. I don't know why. I know hiking in the forest it is peaceful in a way, but I know it's really freaky. This is more than likely due to the sheer number of predators that live in the area, but like any place with such a tragic history, it also has inspired a number of urban legends. Some say that the forest is home to the Vicarwissen, a monster from the ancient Slovenian folklore. In a twist of irony, the creature can indeed claim responsibility for some of the disappearances, as many of those who went missing had come to the forest in search of it. Oh. Well. This is to the trophy room. This is to the hallway. Anything else important? Gotta make sure we click on everything here. Death. Grunwald Ledger, 1887. What year is this? Mrs. Evelina Lundgren's highly publicized trip to the Bleeding Forest came to a tragic end yesterday evening when a beast attacked her campsite, killing her. Catherine Lundgren suffered minor injuries is expected to return to Brunwell as early as Thursday. That's it. Back to the trophy room. Oh, shrieking pelt. That pelt in the cage starts to shriek the second it sees me. I really wish it wouldn't. Oh God, that's the noise. It's terrifying. It's not making a loud noise, but I'm kind of on edge as it is, and I'd rather not risk drawing attention to myself. Those tapestries look like they'd be easy to take down. Maybe I could cover the case? Should I cover the case? Cover it? Would it be a good idea to cover it? Yes or no? I don't know if they'll come in handy later. Maybe it'll come in handy later. The shrieking might come in handy later. I mean, stuck in a case. I don't want to touch anything. It just seems like a bad idea, no matter how awful that zombie thing is. I do my best to ignore it as I fumble around in the darkness, but it just keeps getting louder. And suddenly, just as I'm about to round the corner into the next room, there's another sound, shattering glass. Oh. I turned just in time to see the pelt come rushing out towards me. He grabs onto my leg and pulls it out from under me when I tried to kick it away. Then it goes for my throat. Oh, what? I got the dead end. No. That was terrible. Great. So I was supposed to cover it. I guess covering it was the best thing that I could have possibly done. Okay, I have returned, and yes, I'm going to cover the case this time. I also took a gun from the lounge room, so I have another item on me. I grab onto one of the tapestries and pull it off the wall. People do this with birds, right? The darkness calms them down or something? Oh, that's interesting to know. The creature in this case doesn't look anything like a parakeet, but maybe if it can't see me, it will stop freaking out. There's more than enough fabric to cover the entire display, so I wrap it up as nicely as my shaky hands will allow. At first, it doesn't seem to have done anything, but after a moment, the shrieking stops. Then, there, crisis averted for now. Perfect. We can go to the hallway here. It's a tannery, so it's not here. The gift shop. Go here. Go here. Small trophy room. Oh! Another trophy room. Another trophy room, huh? This one's smaller than the other one, but still, this lady had a whole lot of trophies. What is this? Fritz was Lundgren's loyal companion for many years. Unable to bear the thought of parting with him, they instead made him a permanent fixture in their home after his passing. Some say that stroking his head brings good luck. I'm suspicious, but he looks pretty still. The room is downright spotless compared to some of the others. I wonder if maybe the pelts are afraid of him? That's a good boy. I made sure to give Fritz a pat on the head before I move on. Alright, Fritz, you're a really good boy. I gotta click on everything. I can't miss anything. To the living room. This is the hallway, is the living room here. That seems to be it. Okay, to the living room. You know, if I didn't know any better, I say that I smell Thanksgiving dinner. I guess that makes sense, seeing as it's a banquet and all. Whatever it is, it's coming from the dining room. I don't think we should go into the banquet. The Lundgren's love of the outdoors inspired much of the furniture that we have here on display. They spent many afternoons in this very room drafting ideas for new pieces. The best of the drafts were sent away to be built by expert carpenters. What's this? To the sunroom. Where's the sun courtyard? This place is really big. Though she was very successful, Mrs. Lundgren was quite shy in her youth. Were it not for her cousin's constant pestering, she would have likely never crossed paths with Catherine Ronstadt, a woman who would later become her wife. An intelligent businesswoman in her own right, Catherine greatly assisted Lundgren in her rise to prominence. The two bonded over their love of hunting and of Brunwell when they married in 1867. Dang, they got married in 1867. Very progressive. Alrighty. Where are we going to? Right, so we're looking for a key. Just want to check everything here in this room again, in case I missed something. I don't want to miss anything. Oh, Stella's keychain. Oh, hey, I know what this is. How do you get all the way over here? Found the Mothman. OMG. I didn't know I lost him. He's safe with me. Thank you. That's weird. Let's see here. I literally almost missed that. Oh my gosh. Gotta click on every little thing. No, I'm good. I think I'm good. Alrighty. It's dining room, sunroom. Can we go? This is safe. God, that smell. I shouldn't be able to get comfortable in a place like this, but I swear that smells just like my mom's shepherd pie. Actually, it keeps changing. A second ago was turkey with stuffing and cranberry sauce, and then it was a melty chocolate chip cookies and beef stew with onions and garlic, and I have to follow it. It's just so good, I'm so hungry all of a sudden. That's weird. Just a couple hours ago, I was puking my guts out back at the hotel. My stomach hurts too much to even think about food, but I'm alright now. I'll wait whatever that is. I don't care who made it or where it came from. Or anything. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. Oh. There's music playing when I push open the door to the dining room. It sounds like a piano. I don't see one around, and I guess that should worry me. But it doesn't. I'm way too focused on all that amazing food. is right there on the table. The cookies, the stew, everything. I rush forward and reach for a turkey leg, but someone else beats me to it. Ah, yes. Or something else. There were claws peeking out from underneath the thin, leathery shape that I thought was a hand. And just like that, I came back to my senses. I moved away so quickly that I almost crashed into another of the beasts that had just joined me. She doesn't seem to notice, neither does the first one. She just keeps right on pulling legs off that turkey. They're just plain awful to look at, mostly because I can't figure out what the hell they are. They don't look that awful. At first I think they could be pelts, but they don't move like animals. They sure look like animals, but they're walking on two legs. It's even more creepy. Their eyes are wrong too. They're this creepy blank bluish color with no pupils or anything. Many of them are trying unsuccessfully to hide their paws and tails and snouts underneath curtains of very pale leather. Actually, now that I get a better look at it, it almost looks like it could be skin. They're wearing human skins. Most of them have been chopped beyond recognition, but some still have hands and ears. Hair, even. Fingernails. I think I'm going to be sick. They still don't see me. I don't know how that's possible because I'm standing right there, but whatever, I don't care. I just can't wait to get out of here. Spirit guest. Here's lunch for food decorations. It's said that once a year, all the animals from every cave and mountain and forest in Sonavia send their spirit representatives to the great hunter's banquet. The hunter, who was at one point the only human permitted to attend, honored the guests on our behalf until the arrival of the man that would become the fabled Vicarwissen. Though the hunter did punish the intruder, the damage was done. What had once been a sacred gathering was forever tarnished, ashamed she relinquished her title, and no humans have seen the true banquet since. Even so, we keep our own completely meat-free celebration in its honor. Oh, okay. As for the Vicarwissen, legend has it that a twisted mockery of the original banquet occurs every year in the monster's den. The spirit guests arrive uninvited, wearing human skins, a clear reference to the intruder trespassing in furs. Oh, I can see why they would be insulted, you know. I'm so focused on getting upstairs that I forgot to watch where I'm going, and I brush shoulders with one of those things. All of a sudden something changes. I feel eyes on me and I freeze. The creatures are still too. They've noticed me, but they're calm. Then I hear a sound, almost like laughing. I say almost because it's not really human. It's ethereal, like nothing I've ever heard before. It's scary too. I know in an instant this is bad. If I can run, I should. I do. That's when they jump. Oh. I feel claws digging into my ankles as I dive for the steps. They pull me back into the dining room and onto the table. Now those claws are underneath my skin. They feel like fire tearing past muscles and bones, but I'm not screaming. I can't. I can't do anything but watch them. Another dead end. Alright. That was another dead end. I knew that I shouldn't have clicked on that spirit, but I was like, why not, you know? Okay. Alrighty, I'm back. Last thing I think to click on is dinner. That food smells really good though. I try to ignore it, but as I'm passing by the table, I can't help but give it one last look. If the monsters really can't see me, then would it matter if I just took a little bite? No, the freak? Absolutely not. No, I can't. It's a trick. It has to be. Yeah, obviously. Just eat things when those are just sitting there. I mean, you brush past them and they literally... Oh, upstairs? Yeah, not yet. Let's go to the sunroom. This might be the coolest room in the whole house. I've never seen windows this big before. It's a shame that the museum staff had to reinforce them. It really takes away from the look. I guess it makes sense, though it is a museum. Okay, let's see what we can click on here. Careful, Kathy? The famously spirited Mrs. Catherine Lundgren lost a bit of her spark after the untimely death of her wife. She retreated into this very house, where she stayed until her own death in 1934. During that time, she shut out family and friends, refusing even visits from her mother and her sister. Neighbors would sometimes see her, gaunt and white hair, watching the street from her sunroom's window. When reports arose of strange sounds coming from the Lundgren's attic in the dead of night, the public began to wonder if she might be hiding something. They took to calling her Careful Kathy in private. This kind of sucks. Okay, business card. I didn't know we brought these with us. Did you drop a business card? I gave one to Luna. I hope she's okay. She's fine. Pretty sure she planned this whole thing. Maybe. She seems so nice. Too nice. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't want to miss anything. Giant hunter. In ancient Slovenian folklore, the Great Hunter was a human woman who was said to have conquered every beast on earth. She walked away from her title after the Vicarwissen's banquet, leaving her prized dagger behind. According to some translations, the role would pass to the dagger's new owner, were it ever to have one. Oh, that's the dagger we have, right? I mean, that, what was she saying? Okay. Seems to be... That's it. Alright. I've only ever seen courtyards like this in movies. It's a little overgrown, but I think they must do that on purpose. During the day, it looks like something straight out of a storybook. At night, though, kinda spooky. Anything of interest here? There has to be something. No? I don't want to miss anything significant in this. Oh, it seems like there's nothing. Moving on. Right, these are little, Oh god, I ran fast. I'm completely out of breath by the time I make it to the top of the stairs. Either there are more of them than I realized, or I was just going much faster than I thought. Maybe both. Takes a lot to rattle me. Seriously, I can deal with noises and traps and zombie pelts if that's what it takes to get us home. That dining room, though, that messed me up. I don't even want to know what that was. It's like the dining room with the little animal things to like scare you, not the pelts. I'll be happy if I never have to think about it ever again. I'm upstairs. Find the master key yet? No? Okay, keep looking. It might be up here. Thought I saw a desk in the library. How are you doing? I want to say I'm fine. I start to type it, but I can't. She hates it when I do that anyway. She's always saying that I shouldn't try to bottle stuff up. I should ask her for help. I should be honest, at least. And so... not so good. Now the floodgates are open, and I'm typing a mile a minute. I tell her about the pelts, the dining room, everything I feel guilty about too, because she's stuck. She can't even run like I can. Still, I have to. I can't do this alone. This is happening still. It's really happening. I'm freaking out. I sit down at the top of the steps and watch her type and delete and type again. Finally, there's a message. I shouldn't have split us up. That's the number one rule of adventuring, and I broke it. Put us both in danger. I'll do better next time. Yeah, but what if there isn't one? There's another thing I can't bring myself to type. I wish I could tell myself it's because I don't believe that. Maybe she was onto something, though. All those times that she asked me to be more open, just telling her helped. I'm still jittery, but I can do this, I think. I took a breath. This is really bad. It might even be the worst thing we've ever run into. But in the end, we always make it. We find a way. Max, you're the toughest person I know. Stay strong. Yeah, I will. Time to find a way. Oh, this place is creepy. Is she really trying to help us? Okay, this is the attic. This is to the study. That's downstairs. Don't want to go back down there again. Let's just go to the study. This must be the library that Stella mentioned. That means that the key is probably in here somewhere. If Lona was telling the truth, then I'm looking for a desk. Could it be over there? Here? Someone's been taking notes on all this stuff. Didn't Stella say that this was Lona's desk? Though the Vicarwissen's cursed pelts come to life every night as the creature transforms, they typically will not stray far from it. They obey on all nights except for the banquet night, on which they become more erratic and unpredictable. The Vicarwissen itself, which is normally a rather intelligent beast, is also said to become a feral during the banquet. Well, that's nice to know. Master Key! It's the key! Finally, time to go and find Stella. Wait, a solution? The original tale of the Vicarwissen does not allude to the existence of a cure for the monster's unfortunate condition. That said, subsequent entries into its lore have suggested that eating the flesh of the monster that turned you might end the curse. Some have also introduced the idea that clocks could be used to repel the beast but not cure it. The most promising solution I've come across in my studies is the Great Hunter's Pardon. The theory is that if a Vicarwissen were ever to be personally forgiven by the Great Hunter, they could finally shed their pelts for good. Cloaks, huh? But Stella said... Did you say there's a clock with you in that room? Yeah. A really big grandfather clock. That's weird. I wonder why that is. Okay. The landing area. I want to explore everything. Okay. Oh, that's the landing area. To the hallway. Hallway. There's something up ahead. Oh god, it doesn't sound friendly. I know this one. It's the fox, the same one I saw downstairs. It looks even bigger now that it's running at me. It's fast, but I'm faster. I don't even try to run. Why bother? Got Betty. I whip her out, aim her, and fire one into the thing's open mouth. Nope. It runs off with its tail between its legs. It's times like this I'm really happy I'm from Oklahoma. I better keep moving though. If there are any more pelts around here, then that blast definitely woke them up. Before I go, I check the gun and my heart sinks. That was my last bullet. There's no time to look for more, so I guess I'm on my own from here on out. What is this? A gallery? I've never seen this room before. They normally show it to the public, but it was closed the first time I visited. Mama said that it was being renovated. The door's open though. There's a bunch of paintings on the floor propped up against the wall. There are plenty of them on the wall as well, but I get the sense that the staff was in the middle of switching them out when all this started. The Grand Family Portrait. Okay. Look happy. It's a portrait of two women and a dog. There's something really familiar about it. Is it just me, or does Catherine Legrand look exactly like Lona? Whoa, that's so weird. Maybe they're related? Maybe. It's a small town. Small gene pool? That's weird. This is master bedroom. Oh, master bedroom. The door's locked. This is probably where Stella is. Yep, that's her. I cram the key into the lock and turn it until the door clicks open. Maggie! Stella flings her arms around me the moment I'm in the room. Admittedly, I'm a little bit jumpy after everything that's been happening, so even though I want that hug more than I can say, it still makes me jump out of my shoes. I take a second to adjust, and then I hug her back so tight she nearly comes off the ground. I'm so glad you're okay. This seriously is all my fault. I can't believe It doesn't matter, we're here now, and besides, you didn't know about the skin things. Technically I did. Technically we both did, we just didn't take it seriously. Never again. Oh, I need to show you something that was wrapped around that dagger that Lona gave me. Cellar hands me a piece of crinkled paper. Fortunately, the Vicarwissen is said to be immortal unless you confront it on banquet night. On that night, it can be killed, but only by the Great Hunter's dagger. What do you think? I think Lona wants us to kill the Vicarwissen. She could have just asked. I mean, would you have said yes? Maybe. I gave her a look. Well, I wouldn't have if I knew it was real. Stella locked that attic door, but whoever's up there is rattling it so hard that its hinges are coming loose. I think that's our cue to get going. Yep, definitely. If this is the master key, then I'm thinking that I should be able to open the front door. Oh. I don't know, I might die at this point. Let me just save just in case. Suddenly there's a sound from the other door, the one I just came from. When I look through the keyhole, I see a whole bunch of zombie pelts come barreling into the gallery. Stella, you're gonna want to see this. They're at our door in seconds. By the time Stella comes to look, they're already clawing at it, and there's nothing we can do from there. Stella catches me looking. She gestures up towards the attic. We're gonna have to do it. It's the only way out. Yeah, but the monster. Get the dagger. She doesn't need to tell me twice. I rush over to the big grandfather clock in the corner and grab the dagger from the top of it. It's not glowing anymore, but it's definitely not a normal dagger. The second I touch the handle, it starts twitching around in my hand. I get the feeling that it wants to go upstairs. Sarah picks up her pry bar. It's time to make a decision. Up or out? Which way should we go? Let's replace the save, yes. Let's try just going up the attic. We have to go up the attic, if nothing else. We know we have the dagger. You're right, we're gonna have to go up. We unlock the door as fast as humanly possible and make our way up to the attic. Whenever Lona talked about the attic, she called it the observatory. Now I see why. The place is wrecked, but it's obvious looking at it that it used to be something special. The ceiling is a big, black dome. Even in this darkness, I can still see some traces of a painting up there. There's a sun, some stars, and a bunch of brown outlines that I figure must have been planets at one point. They've definitely seen better days. The walls are pretty beat up too. They're patched really haphazardly with boards and rough cut sheets of metal. It's like somebody tried to reinforce them. You okay back there? Yeah, I'm fine. Do you see it? Not yet. Oh. I stopped dead in my tracks. Yeah, I see her alright. She's watching us from the corner and she looks really, really hungry. Oh. Maggie, look out! Uh-oh. Stella pushes me aside as something rushes past us, a whole lot of somethings. It's the pelts, they followed us. Stand back. A couple of swings of the pry bar and there's fur, teeth, and glass eyes flying everywhere. Only a few of them are actually going for us though, the rest run right at the Vicarwissen. I watch it hiss and spit and tear them into pieces with those massive teeth. In seconds there's nothing left. We're alone again. I hold the dagger straight out in front of me while I search my brain for something, anything other than just running up there and stabbing it, because I'm not sure I can do that. The dagger seems to think I can, though. It's still twitching, urging me forward, but I hesitate. The monster swipes at me, and I only barely manage to jump out of the way. As I'm slowly back to my feet, I watch Stella take her crowbar and crack the thing right across the side, but it doesn't care. It's focused on me until it realizes that I don't have the dagger anymore. Wait, where did it go? It's behind it. I must have kicked it. Stella hits the monster again, this time on the head, and now it sees her. It's going to pounce. No, you don't. Moving quicker than ever before in my life, I run over and pick up the dagger. When I do, the Vicarwissen turns away from her and back to me, but I'm ready for it now. Just as it's leaning in for a bite, I raise the dagger above my head and drive it down its skull. No. There's a pause, then it crumples, sliding right off the blade. I stand there shaking until I feel Stella's hand on my shoulder. Suddenly the air isn't chilly anymore. Does that mean that the monster's really dead? Is she the new hunter? It sure looks dead. Actually, looking at it now, you never know that it was even alive. Before it had some weight to it, but now it's just skin and bones and dried blood. The dagger stopped twitching too. It's dull and normal looking now, as are the remains of all those pelts that followed us up here. It's over. Everything's quiet now. We take the master key and go out to the front door just as the sun is beginning to rise. Luckily, this mansion's far enough away from the rest of the town that I don't think anyone will see us leaving. The last thing we need is for somebody to come knocking on the door asking if we have anything to do with the pile of dead skin and monster bones in the attic. As we settle in, Stella looks at me. Did all that really happen? I think so. She takes a really deep breath. We have to tell people. You think they'll believe us? Some people will. Our followers will. They're all that matters, really. Yeah. In a way, the channel's kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, we know there are a lot of people who we know will absolutely take us seriously, and on the other, almost everybody else won't take us seriously because of our channel. Whatever, we made it out. I don't care who believes us. I wonder what happened to Lona. We did what she wanted. Do you think she'd thank us, at least? Yeah, you think? Watch her tell the museum staff the mess in there is our fault. Ugh, she better not. We almost died. Yeah, which reminds me. We are never splitting up again. Deal. Okay, assuming that is a very, very good ending. I want to see what happens when I go back out to the gallery. I don't know, I'm just assuming we get ripped apart, but something different might happen. It has to be out. Who knows what the monster's exactly like? At least the pelts are, well, they're not exactly little, but we can't go up there. You sure? No, but are you sure we should? No. When I count to 3, open the door. Gotcha. 1, 2, 3. The door opens and the pelts rush in. There's more than I thought. I take the gather and slash at the first ones that come to me, but there's too many. Up ahead, I see Stella whacking away at them with the pry bar. She's doing much better than I am, but not by much. They're getting in between us. I try to close the gap and end up with the bear's hollow carcass on top of me. His weight's too heavy. I'm stabbing and stabbing, but it doesn't care. A second later, I feel his teeth cut into my throat. Maggie! Oh, yeah, so that was just a dead end. Well, I'm pretty satisfied with this ending. I think it all worked out in the end. I mean, we're still our 2 characters, and Stella and Maggie are still alive, so yeah. This was I'm pretty sure I missed some stuff. There's more to the lore here, and what exactly Lona was planning here. But maybe I'll look into that some other time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye!